Hello, thank you for joining us today. We're just going to give people a couple of more minutes to join today's presentation. Hi, my name is Jessica Leal, and I'm the Business and Housing Program Coordinator at San Pablo Economic Development Corporation. Thank you for joining us today on presentation on funding your business. Today, we have 3 guest speakers who will provide you with information on basics of getting your business ready for access to capital. Before we get started, here's a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our website. All attendees are muted. And if you have any issues with audio, you may just want to click on the screen and enable audio. We welcome questions, so please use the Q&A box that's located at the bottom of your screen to submit your questions, and we'll answer them during the presentation or at the end of the presentation. San Pablo EDC is the economic development hub in the region. We offer workshops and training for businesses, workforce, and future homeowners. We deliver a wealth of programs through collaboration with other partners and innovative in-house programs. To support an advancement, we focus our technical assistance for businesses, memberships and sponsorship benefits, access to capital, homeownership, job development and career counseling, degrees and certified training, and employment support services. The San Pablo EDC is here to connect you to the business resources that can help you start or grow your business. Whether you are a startup or an existing business, our resources will give you everything you need to be successful. As I mentioned earlier, today we have 3 guest speakers. You will hear from Lanisha Butt-Toney, the Community Development Officer at Working Solutions. Lanisha, who has over 15 years of experience in strategic management and senior roles in human resources, leadership development, employment and contract negotiation, management coaching, and succession planning, with a heavy emphasis on driving transformational changes through talent management. And she has an extensive network in women empowerment spaces. Then you will hear from Jeff Jones, the Business Development Officer, Vice President with Bank of the West. His specialty is to help small businesses grow with banking services, such as commercial lending, cash flow optimization, and consultation. Last but not least, you'll hear from Maria Pineda, the Outreach and Marketing Specialist from the San Francisco District Office at U.S. Small Business Administration. She's been with SBA for 2 years and has a background in public sector, including time at the U.S. Treasury, at the U.S. Agency for International Development, and Social Security Administration. Her private sector background includes working at a commercial bank as a residential mortgage loan officer. And with that, let me turn it over to Lanisha.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for just allowing Working Solutions to be part of this wonderful panel with Jeff and Maria. Thank you, Jessica, for your invitation. I'm going to get right to the presentation and share the presentation with you right now. Here we go. Working Solutions, we are in San Francisco. And can you all see my screen? Just nod if you can. Somebody, or a thumbs up.
Yes, we can see
your screen. Great. This is our capital readiness screen. I'm going to talk about 2 things. One is capital readiness, and the other thing that I'll just talk briefly on is your business plans. Once again, my name is Lanisha Toney. I'm a Community Development Officer with Working Solutions. The agenda for today is just telling you something about Working Solutions, mental readiness for getting your small businesses and your startup businesses together, business plans, documentation readiness, and approval readiness. And then any questions and answers, I think it's going to be moved to the end of not my presentation, but the presentations overall from both Rich and Maria. So I'm also, just let me tell you in the beginning that I'm also going to have this deck ready for you all. So I'll send it to Jessica so she can send it out to you if you need it. Just an overview about Working Solutions. We're a small business lender and we're also a startup business lender. Our loans are from $5,000 to $100,000. We are a mission-driven nonprofit and we specialize in micro loans. So those are for startup and early stage entrepreneurs. We offer free technical assistance and business consulting services for the life of your loan. And what that kind of means is that any pre-assistance or pre-help that you may need, any post-help that you may need after your loan, we will provide that as well. We serve 19 counties in Northern California from Mendocino to Monterey. And we are what you call a CDFI. We actually go into communities looking for underadvantaged, specialized, like people of color, women's businesses, LGBT businesses, things of that nature, in underserved communities. The two product offerings I spoke of earlier were capital. We give small business loans, micro loans, and small business grants. We also have pre and post loan, again, technical and business consulting. This is our service area from Mendocino to Monterey that I talked about earlier. The eligibility, the owner of the business or the startup company must be at least 18 years old and have at least 1 year of recent paid same industry experience. For example, if you are opening up a hair salon, we need to see that you've at least been doing hair for a year. Same thing with a food truck or anything of that nature. The owners must be current on all debt, have no active liens or judgments, and not have declared bankruptcy in the last 12 months. Our startups must have a secondary source of income, meaning your business can't be the only, especially if you're a startup, it can't be the only source of income that you have. If you have a second job, whether that be part-time, whether that be even unemployment, alimony, some sort of way that you can pay your loan back. That would be what we will be looking for because we don't base it necessarily on your credit. The ineligible industries are listed here: cannabis, adult entertainment, because this is federal money from CDFIs, real estate investment, gaming, nonprofit. Restricted industries are hookah lounges, bars, and smoke shops. This is our all-time impact since 2005, $42 million in loans and grants, 35,000 hours of technical assistance, and so on. Our average loan amount is $25,000. Our repayment rate is 95%, which is great because our business consultants, they really stay close to our clients and our applicants. Business plans. We'll talk a minute about the business plans. Just are you ready? Traditional business plans this comprises a written document containing information about the goal, structure, and potential market for a sector of your company. There's another kind of business plan that's called the conventional business plan. And it is the same when you're applying for a loan. This is because it is a more comprehensive document that covers your prospective venture in depth. And there's something else now called the business model canvas. It's kind of like a picture of what you're doing in a single page. What lenders are looking for now mostly are the traditional and the conventional loans, though. What are the three main purposes of a business plan? One is securing financial investment. The other is assessing the feasibility of management goals. And the third is planning future strategy for businesses. What are the 5 elements of a business plan? There's an executive summary. There's usually 9, but these are the 5 that are pretty fundamental. The executive summary, and once again, I'll give this to you because this part is kind of chatty. Excuse me. This is a simple description of what your business is and why it is to be a success. There's your company description, where you'll detail what your company will do or target. There's marketing and the advertisement plan, which is an explanation of how you'll communicate to the communicate your new business and its services to the public, as well as marketing channels you'll go through. Operational plan, there's a financial plan, and there's a financial projections. And those projections are important because you'll need to show them when you expect to make your first profits and what will need to happen to reach that goal. Mental readiness. This goes back to when you get ready to apply for your loan. Your awareness. Identify your confidence level. This is really important. We call this your why. Why are you doing this? Because the more aware you are of and reminding yourself of why you're doing this, the more confident you'll be. Be prepared for the possibility of being declined once or twice. It happens. Keep going. The discovery plan, if declined, understand the reason and learn from the opportunity. A lot of people get declined once and they're ready to give up. But we have to keep going. If your why is important, you'll keep going. Recovery, commit to a new roadmap. Find a mission-centric institutions like CDFIs and understand the lender's expectations. Try to, if you don't already know, try to enhance your financial vocabulary because sometimes it can be intimidating for people in certain underserved areas. Your owner's draw. How much would you take monthly from the business for your own personal living expenses? Understand what a personal guarantee is, which is your responsibility to pay back a loan, and so on and so forth. Understand what a fixed rate is. It's a set interest rate for the term of the whole loan. Once again, I will get this information to you in writing so you can read over it in detail. Your documentation readiness for your loan. These are the financial documents that you need, your bank statements, tax returns. We realize that if you're a startup, you won't have tax returns. Pay stubs, if you have any, whether that's from a 9-to-5 job, whether it's from unemployment, whether it's from something else. Financial statements that you may have. The legal documents that we will need is your business license, articles of incorporation or organization, and any bylaws you may have for your company. Planning documents, your business plan, which we just spoke over, and a recovery plan and a lease agreement. Recovery plans are important, especially since COVID, and especially even the floods that we just went through here in Northern California. We got a lot of emergency loan clients because of that flood. So have a recovery plan ready if you can. Documentation readiness. The purpose of this is to verify your recent income and expenses. We already went over the examples. Some of the best practices are to separate your business and your personal bank accounts, to transfer funds needed. Some of the resources that we have are QuickBooks Advisors, NABASF, take classes at your local SBDC. And we'll go on to the next slide. Your legal documents that you would need are for individual sole proprietorship and partnerships, your fictitious business license, and a regular business license. If you're an LLC, your operating agreement and articles of organization. If you're a corporation, your articles of incorporation and bylaws. And you can get some of the resources that you can have access to is your county clerk's office and your California Secretary of State's office. Your planning documents. This is your executive summary, your lease agreements if you're going to a brick and mortar, your business and recovery plan that we talked a little bit about earlier. Some of the topics are your products, services, your competition, your marketing, your operations, your finance. Just have this within your plan. Approval readiness, your cash flow. Show business profitability or show secondary source of income that we talked about earlier. Your credit history, be prepared to show your reasons why. I said earlier, we at Working Solutions don't always just go by your credit score, but we want to know your credit pattern at least. We want to know, are you working on paying you something that you owe back, something that you may be in collections for. We want to see what that plan is. Commitment, time in business or industry, your owner injection, communication, explanation of ups and downs. I talked about that a little bit earlier, and provide timely clarifications. Again, our capital loan products, it's $5,000 to $100,000. 3 to 5 year are our loan terms. 9 to 11% are interest rates. There's a $50 fee, application fee for our loans. There's a closing fee of 5% that's tacked on to the end of your loan agreement. There's a personal guarantee required, but there's no minimum credit score. There's no minimum business revenue, no collateral needed, and no prepayment penalties. We talked about the pre-loan and the post-loan consulting that you would get. This is just a sample of one of our clients, the Vegan Hood Chefs. And these are our loan application steps. Step 1 is the loan inquiry form. Step 2, the full application. And on the loan inquiry form, we just ask, are you in the 9 counties we service and things of that nature. You go to the full application. Then we tell you what documents you need in step 3. Step 4, we review and make the decision. In step 5, there's funding. The total timeline, depending on the client, is 2 to 6 weeks before you'll be funded. And this is the information about us, Working Solutions, our contact information, our social media tags, and our phone number. And at this time, I want to say thank you again for allowing Working Solutions to be part of this wonderful panel. I'm going to turn it over now to Jeff Jones from Bank of the West. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. There's a lot of really good stuff there. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get mine ready. All right. So my name is Jeff Jones. Thank you guys for all joining us today. I'm very excited to talk to you. I'm a business development officer with Bank of the West. What that means is that my whole job is to talk to businesses and help them prepare themselves for any kind of bank lending. I'm a very generalist bank lender, so we can do anywhere from SBA to conventional to equipment lending, commercial real estate, so just to name a few things. And I've been with Bank of the West since 2019. And then before then, I was with Wells, fulfilling a similar role as a business relationship manager. And then prior to that, I was a financial advisor. So I was an investment advisor and stockbroker, but I found myself very happy with the business world rather than the personal arena. So that being said, what I put together was generally an outline for preparing for business lending. So as Lanisha explained, is that Working Solutions does a really good job of helping businesses get off the ground with a lot of resources there. Once the business is generally formed and been around for a few years, that's when it qualifies for business lending. What underwriters will, and I'll get into this later, but generally what underwriters will look for is historical businesses that have been around for a little while. So generally speaking, there are 4 main options when you're looking for business lending. There's a traditional bank lending in SBA, which is what I'm going to speak to. There's hard money lending, private loans, and then also CDFIs, which is what Lanisha is a part of as well with Working Solutions. But I'm going to, each one of these has their own niches to fulfill. Bank lending has very specific requirements that come into, when you need to get prepared for this. So with bank lending, you typically get, very low interest rates. You get preferable terms where we don't ask for a huge amount of upfront money or anything like that. You never give up any shares of ownership of your business. It's basically just a loan that you can, for business expansion or purchasing equipment or buying another business or buying property. The items that you need to prepare, and there's kind of a theme to this too, in terms of you need to prepare for a bank loan is, and just the overarching theme is to find help or find professionals that are in line with what you need. For instance, your bank account is implies that you're going to have a quality relationship with your local branch bankers. They're amazing resources and they'll help guide you in terms of which kind of business account is the best one that suits your needs. Not all business accounts are created equal. Sometimes as your business grows, you can easily outgrow a business account. And it's very important to make sure you're communicating with your banker about your current needs and your future needs. Make sure that you want to have your tax returns. I get approached for business loans pretty frequently, and it seems like where the tax returns haven't been completed, but our underwriting department is going to look for at least 2 years of business tax returns in order to justify to look back and say, okay, well, the business has historically done this, which proves that it can absorb a new loan for, we'll say, $100,000 or $200,000. So tax returns are very important. And I'll get to this again later, but the way tax returns are done is incredibly important. You could think of it as your tax returns that you're doing today are what will set you up they'll follow you around or your business around for the next few years. So the way they're done is incredibly important. Sometimes in the attempt to try to reduce the tax burden, there's the chance that you could make yourself put the business itself into a difficult lending position where it shows losses, but in actuality, the business is profitable. So finding a good CPA and surrounding yourself with an excellent CPA or accountant team is imperative. So what you do today affects you for years on end. Next up is a profit and loss and balance sheet. So these are very basic tools that we as a bank look to determine, again, what has happened so far this year. So tax returns will tell us what happened last year and the year before that, but then we want to know what's happening so far this year. So a profit and loss and balance sheet statement are very, very useful tools to determine that. Generally, as I said, we look for businesses that are in 2 to 3 years in business, at least for commercial lending. For an actual bank account, there's no such requirement. It's just that's generally where we look to. Working Solutions, which does a great job to fill the gap for businesses that haven't been around long enough for longer term commercial lending. Another important part is how the business itself is owned. So if you're the owner of the business, a bank is going to also not just look at the business itself in a vacuum, they're also going to look at the individual who owns the business. So we want to make sure that the owner has a decent credit score. 680 is generally the around where we look for our credit scores to be. So it's important to just do a quick soft pull ahead of time, make sure that your credit score is on the up and up. Because we always underwriting look at a business with a sole owner. If the owner has less than perfect credit, generally we want to make sure that gets fixed ahead of time. So, and then the last part is that the more money that people ask for, generally the more documents are going to be asked for as well. So if we're doing a $100,000 or $150,000 line of credit, we're only going to ask for 2 years of business tax returns and a profit and loss and balance sheet. If we're going to look for $1 million loan, we're going to look for quite a few more documents. We're going to ask for 3 years of business tax returns, profit and loss balance sheet, plus a personal financial statement and personal tax returns, and so on and so forth. So just to make sure that you're aware that the more you're asking for, the more the credit department's going to ask for generally as well. So this is how more actionable things that we can work on here. So again, finding a trusted CPA that knows your business very well is basically an imperative part of creating your team. There is accounting software that you can use. Wave is a good one that I've heard of, where it's a free accounting software. There's some limitations on it, so there's the chance that you may outgrow it. QuickBooks is one that a lot of businesses use. It's probably the most popular one, but it does cost money. So I don't know how much it costs, but I think it's like $30 a month or something. But having an accounting software that you use, where you input expenses on weekly or daily, that's incredibly important in order to get your business plan and your profit and loss balance sheets ready together. I would try to get into a habit where, say, for example, every week you look through your checking account and you see the expenses and then record it just once every week on a Friday, or kind of create some kind of a routine to make sure that you're capturing these. So if a banker asks you, hey, do you have your profit and loss from Q1 of 2023? You can, maybe within a day or so, you can easily produce such a report. You could check your personal credit report. I know there's a lot of different ways to check them. The most popular one is annualcreditreport.com. Again, reviewing your business checking accounts, making sure they're still in line with what your goals are and the amount of activity are for your business. Business plan, there's really not much more I can add to what was discussed earlier. There were some amazing tools in the prior presentation. And then lastly, talking with your bankers, again, you're trying to create kind of a team. Your banker's there to help you and make sure that your banker knows what your goals are. So your banker is trained in certain things and can help you with, say, if you want to ask, can you help me figure out if I can qualify for a $150,000 line of credit or a $300,000 commercial loan? Your banker can help create resources for you to help make sure that you're getting prepared for that. So what I guess I would say too is that at the end of this presentation, I think it would be useful for you guys all to send each of the presenters kind of, or at least maybe, I can't speak for everyone, but if you want to send me an email and create kind of a team, that's always encouraged. And yeah, so those are the main things that I would say are imperative for any kind of business lending. And we're here to help guide you through the process and make sure that there's nothing left unturned. So with that, I'll head it over to Maria, and she's from our SBA, and I'll let her take it from here. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria. I'm from the Small Business Administration San Francisco District Office. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's start. Okay, can everyone see that? See the screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
super. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, so like I said, my name is Maria. I'm an outreach and marketing specialist at San Francisco for the U.S. Small Business Administration. Okay, so today's objective, I will be reviewing an overview of our agency. And the other part is how we help small businesses. And specifically, I'm going to focus on our SBA guaranteed business loans, our international trade loans, as well as free business counseling. So who exactly are we at the SBA? And we did not come, or we weren't formed in response to the COVID crisis and the pandemic shutdowns. The SBA was part of a larger federal effort to increase lending to small businesses and to make sure People were still employed and getting paid through our Paycheck Protection Program, as well as our COVID Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which helped a lot of small businesses stay afloat. So we are still, at this point, those programs are officially over, although we are still working with these borrowers, helping them pay back their loans and all that. But our agency was actually created back in 1953 as an independent agency of the federal government. What that means is the SBA has its own rule or regulatory making authority distinct from the executive branch. Our district office of San Francisco serves 14 counties, so you can see these here, the majority of which are Bay Area counties and the coastal counties from Santa Cruz up to the Oregon border. And of course, because California is such a large and populous state, we actually have a total of 6 California district offices, including San Francisco. So I'm going to jump right in. I know there's a lot of information here, and I will be sharing this the slide presentation with Jessica, so this can be dispersed to everyone on the call. But I wanted to focus on our primary loan programs. So the first 2 columns you'll see here is for microloans and Community Advantage. And these are loans that are more geared towards new small businesses or startups, or those businesses that have less than 2 years of business tax returns. So they, as you can see, they have different maximum loan amounts. So microloans is capped at 50K. Our Community Advantage goes up to 350. And then our most popular loan program, the 7A, and then the 504 go up to 5 million. You'll notice that our fiscal year 2022 average loan amount for our San Francisco district was slightly about 1.2 million. And that reflects the fact that the 504 loan portfolio is geared towards commercial real estate, or the purchase of commercial real estate. And of course, as we all know, real estate in the Bay Area is pricey, and you can see that with that average loan size. For our maximum loan terms, microloans payback is 6 years, while Community Advantage 7A and 504 go up to 25 years to accommodate, business acquisition or commercial real estate or long-term heavy machinery and equipment, so that the underlying payment is more affordable for the small business owner. Regarding use of proceeds, the 7A is highlighted because, again, it is our most popular loan program, because it allows, you can use the funds for many different type of purposes, including working capital, inventory, raw materials, equipment, again, commercial real estate, to refinance certain outstanding business debts and the outright acquisition of another business. The lenders that are the participating SBA financial institutions that support these loans run the gamut from everything from a nonprofit microlender to your mission-oriented lenders, your CDFIs, nonprofit financial intermediaries, banks, credit unions, nonprofits, and then under the 504 portfolio, these are certified development companies. Lastly, I did want to highlight guarantee and what exactly do we mean by that. So the SBA does not originate, underwrite, or fund these loans or service these loans, frankly. What the SBA does is a partnership with our participating financial institutions, including, for example, Bank of the West, and as well as Bank of the West and other commercial banks. So what we offer them is a certain guarantee. So what this does is, in effect, it incentivizes our participating financial institutions to increase lending to small businesses, to startups, and other small businesses that are in need of financing. So what we offer is when the general public reaches out to our office and asks for a business loan, what we first suggest is it's important for the small business owners to set up an appointment with their preferred small business banker or lender. to meet with them to discuss their business needs, and that preferred business lender or banker is likely an SBA participating lender. They'll first will meet with you and see if you qualify for a conventional or non-government loan. If you don't, an SBA loan might be able to fill in the gap. So what we offer is opportunities for small businesses that have either insufficient collateral or insufficient down payment to put into the deal to, let's say, purchase a business, or maybe their FICO credit score is not as high. They need to be higher to be able to work with let's say, a larger bank. We do have some participating financial institutions where underwriting is a little more flexible and they're able to fit into the box. And especially for the startups and those that are in existence for less than 2 years, microloans and community advantage loans are a great option. And even if you are a startup or less than 2 years in existence, I don't dissuade you from asking about a 7A or 504 loan with the participating financial institutions, because again, that loan officer will qualify you and explain what loan programs they offer that you could potentially fit into. So in short, our guarantee is incentivizes our participating financial institutions to increase lending to small businesses, which in turn increases wealth, job creation, and that's what we want to see. As we all know, small businesses are the backbone of the US economy, and they're an economic powerhouse in terms of wealth and job creation. So the SBA wants to make sure that that's incentivized through our lending programs. In addition, I did want to point out, and many people aren't aware, but we also help small businesses that want to export either their products or services. So we do have an Office of International Trade that specializes in export loans. And when you see these statistics, they're pretty eye-opening when you realize that 96% of consumers live outside of the US, and 2/3 of the world's purchasing power is in foreign countries. So you can see there's definitely a world of opportunity for small businesses that are interested in testing the waters overseas. And we do have folks that specialize as export finance managers. In this case, in our San Francisco district, we have Michael Fazio. He's an export finance manager, and he can help you discuss foreign markets if you're interested in a particular country. He can help with case studies and let you know what the market looks like in terms of regulatory, and if it's a good market for your product or service. And for those of you that are also interested in import, although the SBA, our focus is exports, there is the Export-Import Bank of the US, or EXIM for short, exim.gov, G-O-V. And they also have services available for businesses to import to the US. But again, at SBA, our focus is export. So here are a couple of websites for our Office of International Trade. And no worries, I will be sharing this slide presentation with our host afterwards, so you all can visit these websites after this presentation. I also wanted to highlight our resource partner network. So before meeting with a potential loan officer to discuss a small business loan, be it a micro loan or community advantage or a larger loan within the S7A or 504 portfolio, and as discussed by our previous presenters, it's pretty important to have a strong business plan in place and to have your financials as well as projections. If you're a new, for example, business and you're projecting your revenues and cost of goods sold and just your future revenues and cash flows, it's important to have those documents in place. So when you meet a loan officer, you're feeling confident and you have a strong application package. So the SBA does have a resource partner network throughout the country. Here in Northern California, we have 300 plus advisors, and they definitely offer loan application package preparation. So they can sit with you, review your financials, or your last 2 to 3 years business tax returns. Or if you're a new company, they can help you put together your business plan and your projections going into the future. These partners are partially funded through the SBA, and they're nonprofit organizations. And as you can see here, we have, you can find a mentor at any of these web links. There's, SCORE is the largest network of mentor counselors throughout the US. We have small business development centers as well throughout the country in Northern California. And for those of you that are veterans and their spouses, and you're looking to transition from your veteran or military career to civilian life and want to start your small business, we have our Veterans Business Outreach Centers that are staffed by former veterans, so they get it. And last but not least, we have women's business centers that specialize in female entrepreneurs or female-led companies. Again, they're open to everyone, but they do specialize in women small business owners. So you would reach out to them, and they can help you to put together, again, that loan application preparation package. And their services are free. And with that, here is my contact information, my email specifically. If you have a question that's a personal or you'd rather not share with the group today, feel free to email me. And otherwise, I think I'll yield the floor back to our San Pablo, our host, for any questions that we have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Maria. And let's see. So something that everyone has stressed during today's presentation is how important it is to have a business plan. And something that we want to share here at San Pablo EDC is that we have a platform where you can create a business plan for free. It's literally on our website. Just go to sanpabloedc.org/dreambuilder. And it's a platform where it's going to go through different modules. You'll be doing activities. And as you're creating these activities, it will be generating a business plan for you. And obviously, all the resources that everyone else has shared that are very important, that will help you make that business plan really strong enough to be able to get funding. So we really encourage you to start somewhere, and you can start with our Dream Builder app, and it's free, like I said. And then another resource that we want to share today is that I encourage you to visit the IRS website. They have a lot of information on different workshops on how to get your business ready when it comes to federal tax obligations. And again, I want to take this opportunity to thank our speakers for providing great information and resources today. If you wish to connect with them, please take a photo of their contact information, or we're also sharing their information in the chat. And as we're speaking, we would like to hear from the audience if there's any questions. Looks like we have a couple that have come in. So we have a question about the difference between SBA and Working Solution. What makes them stand out from their competitors? So I don't know if Lanisha or Maria would like to take.
I'll let Maria take that one.
Thank you, Lanisha. So the differences, so Working Solutions, Working Solution is a CDFI, or Certified Development Financial Institution. It's, as Lanisha mentioned earlier, they're a mission-focused lender. So they have, a bigger mission. It's, their mission as, again, mission-based lenders is, to help and serve underserved communities. And by underserved communities, it's the population of folks that have difficulty in the past obtaining small business loans for, many, myriad reasons. So the SBA, and I know for a while, I was speaking to Lanisha earlier, they have loans up to 100,000 for the startups and small businesses less than 2 and 3 years. So what SBA offers, and we were working with Working Solutions as a micro lender, a SBA participating lender through our micro lender portfolio, but they have in addition a higher lending cap up to 100,000. So the differences are, SBA has a relationship with the CDFI, such as Working Solutions, and they originate small business loans up to 100,000. So Working Solutions does the loan application, origination, the servicing of the loan, and SBA at some level has, the capacity to offer certain guarantees to some of these loans. If in fact the loan fails, the SBA steps in and in effect allows the participating lender to be whole again, because they're not going to be they're not going to absorb the entire loan default. The federal government through the SBA steps in and helps the lender absorb some of these losses. Okay, so again, I would say the difference is that Working Solutions will in fact do the loan application, qualify you for the loan. The SBA doesn't get involved. So if somebody asks me, hey, I'm interested in a loan that's $75K, by all means, reach out to Lanisha, because she'll be able to qualify you and walk you through the application. And then what makes them stand out from their competitors, Lanisha, I'll yield the floor back to you, because you would know more than me.
Sure. I think what separates us from our competitors are we are very, very community based. Like we go out into the community looking for, we touch bases with our applicants and our clients at least once a month. We're interested in, how their leases are with their agents, what's going on in their lives. We touch with, if they're having any financial problems, we, really get in there and we talk to them about that. That's part of that technical work. We do the consulting work, and it gives us an opportunity to go into certain neighborhoods that are disadvantaged, especially like in San Francisco, Richmond, and just help in a way that normal banks wouldn't be able to help. So as a CDFI, it's our mission. Like we have to, in order to keep our CDFI name, we have to go in the community and make sure that the underprivileged startups and small businesses are served in that fashion. So thanks, Maria.
Thank you. So I think it's safe to say that first you want to start with Lanisha, going with Working Solutions if you're a startup business, and they have tons of resources. They have access to capital specifically for startups. And then from there, they will connect you with other lenders that will be able to provide you with a bigger loan if that's what you're looking for, once you have at least 2 to 3 years under your belt.
And just to add to that, and then if you need more, the small business needs more money than we're able to accomplish, we do have relationships with Bank of the West and other banks that we can also walk you into. Like if you're in your infancy stage, which is your startup stage, and then say you're 5 years in and you need a bigger loan, we'll walk you to Bank of the West or Wells Fargo or any of those banks as well. So.
Yeah. And Jessica, I thought I'd add also to Lanisha's explanation of her organization. A CDFI is, again, a Certified Development Financial Institution. We love acronyms in the government, and it is a program sanctioned through the U.S. Treasury. So again, CDFIs, their mission is to, again, be out there for underserved populations. Again, women, people of color, folks that are located in rural areas, folks, disabled veterans, for example, women-owned, et cetera. So yeah, you can see the CDFI information as well online under USTreasury.gov.
Thank you. And then the other question was, what is a 7A loan?
Right. So 7A is one of our loan programs, and Bank of the West and where Jeff works, they are SBA participating lenders through that program. And the 7A loan, and I did reach out to that person, and you can certainly email me. I'll provide you the web links as well. But it's basically the most popular loan program we have at the SBA for small businesses. And it basically, you can use that loan for tons of reasons or uses, right? The use of proceeds. Anything from working capital to the outright purchase of a franchise or commercial real estate. So it's a very adaptable or flexible loan program. And again, for qualification, the SBA doesn't underwrite or originate or service these loans. These are done through our participating financial institution. In this case, be a commercial bank such as Bank of the West. We provide Bank of the West a guarantee on these loans in case the loan fails. But again, it incentivizes Bank of the West and larger commercial banks to increase lending to our small business community. But again, you can email me and I'll be happy to provide you additional links and information. And the presentation I'll send over today, Jessica, has more information as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions? I guess if anyone has more questions and you feel like you want to just direct them to the speaker, feel free. Like I said, you have their contact information so you can reach out to them directly. And before we end this presentation, here's a quote from Mr. Von Mises. What makes a small business develop into big business is not spending, but saving and capital accumulation. And here's also information on our next webinar. So next week, we'll be hosting a webinar on funding your business. And in this webinar, you'll explore the legal considerations involving in starting or growing your business. You'll learn about about experts who can guide you with the contracts, agreements, and documents. You will explore possible legal structures for your business. And finally, you will review the importance of complying with law and regulations and dealing with risk. And again, you can register through our website, sanpabloedc.org/calendar. And if you have more information, Sue Hay, who is the Business and Housing Program Manager, and myself are available here at San Pablo EDC. And you can always connect with us and we'll share the resources available to us so that we can help your business grow. And in the chat, again, you will find our contact information, our presenters information, the link to our website. So feel free to take a screenshot of those resources so that you can take those home with you. And on our website, we will also have the recording. So if you want to watch this again, feel free to visit our website and get more information. And again, thank you to all our presenters. We really appreciate your partnership. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful day.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Jeff Maria.
Thanks, Jeff. Bye.